Can we beat Dreadbloon only using this part of the water and limited towers? Or are there limited towers? Can we do it? Let's find out. Alright, so jumping right in, we use Admiral Brickell instead of Pet Fusty, because I just felt like playing her. And also faster attack speed and mob mine for more mob damage, so yeah, overall better value, I say. Then we of course farm with Merchantman and upgrade one of them to Hotshot so that we can defend Dreadbloons, because when we play Dreadbloon, Zebras get turned into Dreadbloons and Dreadbloons into fortified Dreadbloons, so keep that in mind. For the first tier I of course get the boats, which can take care of every immunity except the military one. So to get rid of the military one I get mermonkeys, because I mean submarines would also be military, and yeah, we need to have another tower we can place in the water, so mermonkeys are our only choice. And yeah, it's quite difficult, especially with the rock balloons, because they're quite tanky, so I really needed to survive those. Luckily I had enough health at the start. But then of course I got a second mermonkey to survive even further. And yeah, we still leak to the rock balloons, but there's nothing we can do about that. So 2 Arctic Knights, because the ability is quite powerful, so that shreds basically through the immunity. And then we only have magic and support, which isn't a problem, so I just continued farming using Brickell's abilities. So the boats do extra damage, and she herself also does extra damage. And yeah, as you can see, tier 1 very easily cleared. So after defeating tier 1, I sold my mermonkeys and the carrier flagship and got to farming, upgrading all of my boats to favorite trades so that we get even more income, and then we already hit around 60. I sold some favorite trades to be able to afford carrier flagship and paired it with Hotshot. And defense-wise, we can now of course place stuff on top of the carrier flagship. Me being stupid placed a sniper for some reason, I don't know. So yeah, defending with a mage here, because Wizard is quite strong, so nothing against that. Of course, first immunity primary, very easy. Shredding through that with carrier flagship. Selling even more to get Arcane Spike. And then we of course get an Ice Monkey for embroiderment, so that we get that little bit for extra damage, which is very useful. Also using Brickell's ability, the mob mine, to do even more damage to get through the military immunity as fast as possible, because yeah, that's the most problematic one. It unfortunately is the biggest problem, but this time we defeat most of the rock balloons, so mage is definitely better than the mermonkeys, and also doing quite significant amount of damage, I'd say. So Ice Monkey also helping out a ton here, and as you can see we're already halfway through the immunity. Placing another mob mine, and yeah, then we get to magic, which the wizard cannot do anything, so we just sell him and start upgrading the boats to get our farming going. And military is resistant to the magic immunity, but with another mob mine, and then we only have support left. Using Brickell's abilities, we get through there fairly easily, placing even more favorite trades to get our farming going. Placing our last favorite trade over there, using a mob mine to finish him off. So now that tier 2 is defeated, we continue farming, so we get the tier 5 and yeah, get as many boats as possible. And yeah, the remaining rounds we just use for farming, getting quite a lot of money actually. And defense-wise, I mean, most of them are upgraded to hotshot, so we mostly don't have any problems there. And we can also use Brickel's abilities to survive. And then we have tier 3. Sell some favorite traits to make space. And get the tier 5 carrier flagship once more. Because that way we can put an ice tower on top of him. And with Middle Path you can create a platform, an ice platform for other monkeys to stand on. And they are not on land because they have that little ice platform underneath them. You can't see it that well, but I mean, if you look closely you see what I mean. So then we get the tier 5 dart monkeys, because we of course want the dart paragon. So we hit play so that we can get a little bit more money, because I didn't want to sell that many boats. Use Brickel's abilities. Of course by Middle Path on the aircraft carrier, so he and the other boats can get rid of the primary immunity, because, well, the Dart Paragon is primary, so he cannot damage that layer. So yeah, slowly but surely we're getting rid of Brunarius Dreadbloons shield. Yeah, continue to use that mod mine. And it takes long, but it eventually works, and we get rid of the shield. And then we only need to do some damage to the primary phase. Using all of Brickel's abilities, even using Snowstorm at some point, but yeah. Try to get every bit of damage. Using mod mines, using all abilities, upgrading some of them to hotshot so we get that little bit of extra damage. And yeah, wait to get that paragon and wait till we can actually use it. So we get rid of the primary immunity, have to wait a little bit till we get enough money. So we have to pop some balloons, and there we go. Apex Plasma Master gets rid of everything else insanely quick. Yeah, look at that. Crazy damage. So that is tier 3 defeated pretty easily. So with tier 3 being over, we of course sell the Paragon so we can continue farming. And we also get rid of all of our boats. Get rid of the aircraft carrier, everything except Brickel. And then we get back the tier 5 and get an ice tower on top of that, so that we can actually farm with farms. Yes, we can place a farm on the water. That's the amazing thing about iced monkeys. They can create that platform, which we already used to make the Dart Paragon. And yeah, now we simply just get top path village, not village, farm of course, with an overclock, and then slowly get our boats back. And farming that way gives us a lot of money, and hopefully gives us enough money to defeat tier 4, which is one of the more difficult tiers. And yeah, boats having sometimes some trouble with the rounds, but doing pretty well. And then we come to the tier 4 defend, which I'm going to try to get the Dart Paragon. And it's quite difficult to find those placements. Up there it is still on the water, you cannot quite see it on video, but just trust me, it's still on the water. And then we of course need to sell the engineer to get enough space, because yeah, there's nothing on the water, we cannot do it. So yeah, it took me quite long to find a placement. Well, or to find out that there are no placements. So I just got rid of the engineer and placed the last boomerang on top of there. And then, of course, upgrade all of the boomerangs. And then start a round. And yeah, we're once again just using the boats to survive. And on tier 3 it already looked really close. And I don't know how I managed to do this on tier 4. How I managed to have enough damage to actually defeat the primary immunity. Of course, once again using Bricko's abilities. And also using the dart abilities, because at the moment we kind of have some trouble defeating the normal rounds. I mean, DDTs are getting quite far because, well, only our bottom path boats have camo detection and lead popping power. So we barely survived that. And yeah, I have to back out and get back in real quick, otherwise I would have died to that DDT. But then we miraculously made it. I think this is the run where we survive, so yeah, really have to time those abilities there, so that we have enough damage to defeat out the DDTs and get enough money to get the Boomerang Paragon in time, so we are able to defeat the other rounds. Because if the AI balloons don't trouble us, then we'll have enough time to damage the boss enough to get through the primary immunity. So yeah, I'm just kind of waiting on that, timing abilities, using Bricko's abilities, using the Mob Mine to get rid of DDTs instead of the boss. And yeah, also with some luck we finally get to affording the Boomerang Paragon, only a degree 1, but yeah, will be enough to defeat the AI balloons, and we'll also be able to defeat all of the other immunities. But right now, just the boats and Brickel are able to damage the boss. I also get Super Brittle for that extra damage. Of course, using Mob Mines, using all of Brickel's abilities. Setting towers too strong, so they actually damage the boss. And yeah, eventually get rid of the shield. So we only have to do damage to its actual health. And now it also is in range of Super Brittle, so we actually do some damage now. And then also get the last tier 5 from the boats, so he can also help. And to get, spoiler, Boat Paragon later on, because also very strong. And yeah, we have a lot of boats, we have a lot of pops on the boats, we have a lot of cash, which also counts towards getting higher degree Paragon, so we finally get through the primary immunity, and then yeah, military gets absolutely shredded, same with magic, as well as, last but not least, support. So that was tier 4. So yeah, that was tier 4. Now we of course continue farming, getting back the NG, get a glue gun on middle path, glue storm, so we get more damage, because we need the boats to defeat everything. I don't want to get anything else defense wise, because we of course want a, as you already guessed it, a high degree boat paragon. And yeah, ideally we have as much pops for that as possible. So yeah, we need to make some space, get rid of the glue gunner, get rid of the NG, and then create our Navark of the Sea, getting degree 44, very nice. So we'll do some weird shenanigans. I wanted to get something to defeat the other immunities, of course, because once we get the military, yeah, the Navark cannot do anything. I don't know why I tried Dartling, it's kind of weird, but yeah, I'll sell him later on and get something that can actually defend. But as you see, getting through primary immunity very easy. The boss is not even in range of the boat, so the planes are doing all of the work. And yeah, then we get to military immunity. We sell our Navark, believe it or not. We actually sell everything. And get tier 5, get back our ice tower. And then we once again get Boomerang Paragon, because why not? It's very strong and we can put a lot of cash into it, and it can also solo off the other degrees, so yeah. It gets easily rid of the Dreadbloons and then instantly starts getting that damage out and doing an insane lot of it. And I also wanted to get Embroiderment, but we only got it quite late, so it still helped a little bit, but not that much. So yeah, Boomerang struggling a little bit on damage, on magic. And then support was a bit easier again, while also soloing all of the normal rounds, so quite an insane performance for only 27. But yeah, that was Dreadbloon, only using the water. Hope you enjoyed the video, and leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.